Stay safe.
Stay active.
And stay healthy.
Hi, I'm Miss Piper from PASS, Physical Activity and Sports Specialist. Today we're carrying on with our tennis lessons and we're going to be looking at the backhand technique today. So the equipment you're going to need for today's lesson are some cones, if you've got some, or anything that you could use. It's similar, so jumpers or cardigans, anything that you can use just as a marker that you can move around. You'll also need a tennis ball or something similar, and again a tennis racket. If you don't have a tennis racket, you can use a hard book, you can use a lid off of a box, or you could use a cardboard cutout of a tennis racket. So go grab your equipment for today's lesson and then we're going to get on with our warm-up activity. For our warm-up activity, I have just set up a line of cones, but again, if you haven't got cones, you could use anything that you've got at home. So you could pile some jumpers up, you could maybe move some plant pots around if you ask your parents' permission. All we're going to do is be balancing the ball on our racket. You can hold on with two hands or one hand, it is entirely up to you. If you are right-handed, like me, you want your right hand at the bottom and then your left hand on top. If you are left-handed, then you want your left hand on the bottom and your right hand on top. All we're going to do is try and balance our ball on our racket, and we're just going to move in and out of the cone. Trying to keep that ball on our racket, not letting it fall off, and we're just zigzagging through the cones. Okay, so we're just going to have a little bit of time zigzagging through those cones. If you want to make it slightly harder, you can sidestep through the cones, so you can try and sidestep through them whilst keeping that ball on the racket. If you do drop it like I did, just pick it up and carry on. If you want to make it a little bit harder, you can do those keepy uppies that we've practiced most weeks, and you can try and move through the cones doing your keepy uppies. So a few different activities there. We're trying to move through the cones, focusing on keeping our racket nice and still. We're using the two-hand grip because when we practice our backhand today, we are going to be having two hands on our tennis racket. So when we did forehand, we only used one hand. When it gets to backhand, we're actually going to be using two. So that's why I want you to have two hands on your racket, moving in and out of those cones. Right, we're going to go through the backhand grip for tennis. So if you are a right-handed person, you're going to want your right hand on the bottom, like you did with for your forehand shot. When we do backhand, the racket comes across our body and we put our other hand at the top of the grip, so we are now standing sideways on. The back of my right hand is facing where the ball would come from. So because I'm a right-handed player, as long as the back of my right hand faces the ball, that's how I'm going to know it's my backhand. So if you're right-handed, right hand on the bottom, left hand on the top, and we're standing sideways on. And then just have a practice of that swing from here. If you're a left-handed player, then it's left hand on the bottom, right hand on the top, bring it across your body. As long as the back of your left hand is facing where the ball comes from, then that would be your backhand. So again, have a practice of that swing. Just have a few practices to make sure that you've got that nice swing action for your backhand. Right, for this activity, I have set up a V with my triangles. I'm going to start without a racket, so I'm just going to put my racket down for a minute. I'm going to start at the back of my V. I'm going to sprint forward to my left, and then when I get to this red cone, I'm going to do a backhand shot. So I'm going to pretend I'm holding my racket, and I'm going to just practice that backhand. I'm then going to sidestep to the white cone and practice a forehand with my right hand. Again, if you're left-handed, you would do this the other way around. So you would sprint to the white and do a backhand, and then sidestep over and do a forehand. So I'm going to show you it. So start from the back, then sprint forward. I'm going to stop, grab my tennis racket, backhand, sidestep over, and then it's a forehand. And then I go back to the cone. Go again. Backhand, so step, then swing, sidestep across, and then forehand. Now you can make your triangle as big or as small as you like, it's up to you. So give that activity a try without a racket. So do 5 laps of the triangle without using the racket. We're going to do the same activity again, but this time we're going to be holding on to our racket. So we start in our ready position, we're going to sprint to the red cone, I'm going to do my backhand shot, side step over, forehand shot, and then all the way back to my blue cone. Sprint forward, do my backhand, side step over, forehand, and then sprint back. I'm going to go to the red cone again, backhand, side step over, forehand, and then sprint back. You might have noticed when I'm going back to my very first cone, I'm still facing forward. That's because we don't want to turn our back on our opponent that's going to be hitting the ball over towards us. So give this activity a try. Sprint to a cone, do a practice backhand, and then side step over, practice forehand, and then step back. Once you've done that, grab yourself a partner. Because what you're going to do is still the same activity, run into the cones. When you get to the red one, your partner will feed you the ball and you're going to backhand hit it over to them. Side step over here, they'll throw you the ball again, and then you're going to forehand back to them. Go back to the cone. So I'm going to sprint to this cone, my partner throws in the ball, backhand back to them so that they can catch it. Side step, they throw me the ball again, forehand so they can catch it. Pause the video here to give these activities a try. Right, we're going to carry on with our backhand shot. You will need a partner for this one. I'm going to show you without a partner because he's not here today, but you guys can watch me and then do it with your partner. You should have had enough time to practice your backhand swing by now. You should be nice and comfortable with that swing. I have set up my line of cones that's going to act as my net. Now you can use jumpers or anything you've got around the garden. If you want to make it a slightly higher net and you've got some chairs in your garden, you've got a skipping rope or a pole, you can set 2 chairs up, tie a skipping rope between them or rest the pole between them, gives you a higher net to start playing over. Now I'm going to pretend that my partner is throwing the ball into me, I'm going to let it bounce and then I'm going to do my backhand swing over. So the ball's going to bounce and I'm going to backhand it over to my partner. I'm aiming for my partner to catch it, so I want to try and hit it in a nice straight line so that my partner can catch it. So again, as it bounces and then it's backhand all the way over, making sure it's 2 hands, and we follow through with our racket to make sure it's got a nice big swing and it goes to where we want. I'll show you one last time. So my partner has thrown it over, watch the bounce, and then we hit it. Give that activity a try. So feeding it, your partner feeding it and you hitting it back. I want you to try to get 5 in a row, where you're letting it bounce and then hit it back and they catch it. 1, 2, you want to go all the way up to 5. So pause the video here to give that a try. Right, we're going to carry on with our next activity. Similar to what we've just been doing, but your partner is going to feed the ball into different areas. Like we've done with our forehand shot where we had to sprint forward to try and get it, it's exactly the same. So we want to start nice far back in our ready position, and then your partner is going to feed the ball in. We're going to run up and then we backhand back to them. Make sure your partner knows that they are feeding it to your backhand. So just remind them that this is your backhand side and that's where you want to feed it to. So I start at the back line of my tennis court or whatever area I'm using. I'm going to sprint forward, stop, bounce, and then I'm going to hit it back to them. We want to make sure that we are letting the ball bounce, because otherwise we'll be doing a volley shot and we are practicing our backhand swing. So last time I'm showing you. Partner is going to throw the ball over, come over the net or over the cones, and then we sprint forward and backhand it over towards our partner. Pause the video here to give this activity a try. Right, this next one, you and your partner are both going to want a tennis racket or a hard book if that's what you're using. Whatever you're using, go grab 2 of them. So we're going to try to do a backhand rally this time. So we're aiming to start the rally off, so one of you can throw the ball in, and we're aiming to only use our backhand side. So we backhand it over to our partner. We're letting the ball bounce and then we're gently hitting it back over towards our partner. Let the ball bounce, hit it over. I want to see if you can get at least a 3-shot rally. So you bounce it and then you hit it over, that would be 1. They hit it back to you and then you hit it back to them, and that would be 3. We want to try to keep that going. Now this is called a cooperative rally because you're actually working together to get that rally going. We're not trying to beat each other, we're not trying to get points. We want to make sure that we both get enough time to practice that backhand rally. So hitting the ball over the net. Pause the video here to give this activity a try. Right, last activity for our tennis backhand then. I want you to carry on with the rally that you have been doing with your partner. We're still working on a cooperative rally, so we're still working together, but this time I want to see more movement around your area. So I want you to both start at the back, one of you throw the ball in, and then we're aiming to be moving around. So when I hit the ball, I don't want to hit it straight back to my partner this time. I want to hit it into an area where they're going to have to move to try and get it. Now it might be that it ends up on their forehand side and they've got to do a forehand shot. That's fine, but we are trying to do as many as we can with that backhand. You could challenge yourselves to say that you've got to do at least 5 backhands in your rally. So it might be that you do 3 forehands, but you're getting those backhand shots in. So we start from the back, one of you throws the ball in, and then as we hit it back, I'm now hitting it into different areas for my partner to run to. So I might hit it over there, and then my partner might hit it behind me. So I've got to go back, backhand it over to my partner. They might then drop it just over the net. I've got to get forward and then backhand it or forehand it over to them. So we're aiming for that rally this time, trying to move around so that we're getting more on the balls of our feet, make sure our knees are bent and we are able to get into our backhand or quickly switch into our forehand. Right, give those activities a try for me. So pause the video here. Well done guys, that's the end of our tennis lesson where we were focusing on our backhand skills. Hopefully you had enough time to practice all those activities and you even got onto the rally at the end with your partner. Remember, stay safe, stay active and stay healthy.